A puzzling tweet, to be sure. In terms of that response, though, how fine a point can you put on it in terms of they need to be able to be in concert with Saudi Arabia to determine exactly how to proceed here?
Well, first, Saudi Arabia is a very close ally of the United States. They always have been for well over 70 years now. And so the idea that we would coordinate with Saudi Arabia in terms of a response sounds entirely appropriate. In fact, indeed we should. In terms of the language that the president is using, these terms locked and loaded, that sort of saber rattling is really uncalled for, particularly coming from the United States. People know the power and the effectiveness of the U.S. Armed Forces. We don't need to be doing this chest beating. Moreover, if the president's intention is to calm oil markets, using those kind of terms is not going to do it. It's only going to create more anxiety, more apprehension, not only in the oil markets, but I think in the global community as a whole.
And yet, are you on the side of the fence that says, look, some kind of response you have to have at this point, that this has been, you right, in fact, that Tehran is choosing from a really limited playbook? Is it time to really narrow the Iranian options when it comes to them trying to get the attention of the United States and the world? Do they definitely want those sanctions rolled back? And it seems that they will stop at nothing to get that done.
Well, the president has offered them an option out of the sanctions in terms of the invitation to engage in a direct meeting with him. And this is something they probably should consider. If we want to go down the road of a military conflict, we need to be fully aware of what that's going to mean. Iran has massive armed forces. That includes their normal armed forces as well as the Iranian Islamic Guard Corps. And so I think we're going to have to be very, very careful in terms of any military response to this, particularly when a lot of the details surrounding the circumstances of these attacks are unknown, including the possible launch point for the attacks. It is a bit difficult to believe that the attacks could have come or could have been launched out of Yemen, given that these two facilities are over 500 miles away. But they might have been launched from within Saudi Arabia by infiltrators from Yemen, that is Houthi infiltrators, or perhaps they had collaborators within the kingdom who were able to move closer to these sites to carry out the attacks. And that's probably where I would look before speculating about attacks from Iraq or Iran.
Yeah, but depending on where they come from, whether it was Iraq or Iran, I think most people believe that Iran was certainly complicit in some way, shape, or form. I want to ask you about the character of the blowback here. How material will it be for all of us? You know, this is whether you're going to be filling up your gas tank, taking a flight, or obviously more involved in any kind of a military response, if there is one.